Hey guys, Kaylee here, and welcome back to the Honeystead. It has been a hot minute since I've taken you guys and done a foraging video, and since it's way too hot and humid for me to go up and do anything in the hives, and I don't have any desire to do any gardening work, I want to forage and I want to take you guys with me. I have a plant that I've been waiting for it to go into full bloom to actually harvest and show you guys something that we recently learned. And right now, I think we are official. It is in full bloom. And since I'm a beekeeper and I have quite a bit of honey, I'm gonna do something that I recently learned from my teacher. Make sure to go check out Green Comfort School of Herbal Medicine. See what Teresa's doing. She has got so much knowledge. She shares on her Instagram, she shares on YouTube. Then she has a couple other platforms that she also shares. Let's go harvest some flowers and see what we can do with some honey. Last year I was so excited because I found a wild native elderberry tree on our property, and I was able to go ahead and harvest a few clippings off of, and I think we have about 20 that are going to be good to go, and we're going to actually replant and populate because I would love to have an elderberry forest of course, not only for me but for also the bees. I did some reading and I found out that an acre of elderberry could produce up to 800 pounds of pollen for your honeybees. So as a beekeeper and an herbalist, I love the idea of being able to connect the resources of having a plant that is not only medicinal for myself, for health, for immune system, but is also a great source for our honeybees. So this tree is a little bit tall, but I did find another one down the road. So we're gonna also see about collecting it. But right here, this is what I would like to be able to harvest. Oh no, the little flowers. But look at the little flowers. I might be a little late, but that's okay. Definitely a little too short to be able to get up there and get the rest of those flowers. So I'm gonna go check out the other two places where I know that we actually have wild elderberry growing and see if I can get them. But on another note, soon enough, we'll be able to harvest wineberry. I'll show you guys what we do with the wineberry. Not only are they a delicious little treat to have, but it's another food source, you know? If you need it. That's kind of what we do. You know, I really enjoy foraging and finding out what is edible, what's medicinal, and how can I use it. This beautiful plant right here is wild lettuce. And there's a few different varieties that we have on our property. We have I think it's the prickly wild lettuce. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's also the Canadian wild lettuce, but this is another wild lettuce. Now we just harvested, and I wish I would have probably documented that. I probably should have. I need to get better at that. But we just harvested a massive amount, and I have it tincturing right now in 100 proof vodka. You can tell I'm not gonna harvest this one. But see right here, you can tell that it's wild lettuce. two different ways that I can actually determine whether or not it's wild lettuce is seeing all this white, creamy latex liquid. The leaves look very much like a dandelion. If you look underneath of the leaf, you see all those little hairs? That is another good way. Now this one is not the prickly wild lettuce, but yeah, we have quite a bit of it. The stem is very hollow. We have that tincturing right now in the event of we need it for pain management. It's another way for me to enjoy, you know, living off the land and practicing what I'm learning. It is hot for sure today. As much as I really wanted to be, today I really wanted to spend some time up in the bees, but nope, not today. I will do it another day. All right, so this elderberry I spotted mainly because of the beautiful white flowers. Hopefully this one's gonna be a little easier for me to reach. That is my hopes, at least. It has a few flowers left. But the ones at the top, right back there, they tend to have more. So let's see if I can get them. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so I was able to go ahead and collect all the elderberry flowers that we need, and of course left some to turn into berries. So now let's go inside and I'll show you guys what we're gonna do. We're getting ready to do our honey harvest, and I'm anticipating a pretty good amount this go around. I keep a 5-gallon bucket for personal use when it comes to our honey, and then the rest of it we do sell. This last year I sold a lot on our Etsy shop to a lot of viewers, which I'm still extremely blessed that you guys were able to enjoy some of the sweet treat that our bees were able to make. Because I have a little bit left and I'm getting ready to do another harvest, I figured it would be fun to be able to experiment and do some infusing with honey. There's a few things that we've already done. I've actually fermented garlic in honey, which is delicious and really good for you. We've made a lot of fire cider. Let's see. I do want to do an elderberry infused honey, which is essentially kind of like the syrup. The flower is what I'm excited about. But basically, I'm just picking off the flowers from the stem, placing it in the jar, and I'm gonna fill it with honey and let it sit for a little while and strain off. It's gonna be really beautiful. Elderberry has definitely made a name for itself, especially when it comes to herbalism and all of its medicinal properties, that I can add it into my tea and really help boost our immune system, as well as, you know, fighting off any colds or anything. I still have a little bit more to pick, but what I'm gonna do is go ahead and hit up our honey stash and fill it up with some honey. So obviously, okay. So obviously that's not gonna mix very well right away. So I'm gonna have to take a butter knife to it and kind of stir it in there, and then I'll top it and fill it up with some more honey. But isn't that beautiful? Try to get all of the honey mixed in. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. I'm just using a butter knife and I'm just running around the sides, getting the air out, and then what I'll do is probably add more of the flowers. I know that you can do this with the dried elderberry flowers, and I definitely would. I think I'm gonna try that as well. I do have some that are already dried, and I understand that there's probably moisture. There's probably a little bit of a moisture content in these flowers, and it might change the honey a little bit. But I'm doing such a small batch of it that we're basically going to be enjoying it straight away versus storing it. Now, if I were to do a batch of it and store it, I would 100% use dried. But because we have fresh right now, we're gonna enjoy the fresh. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? See all the little flowers? So now I'm gonna let this completely infuse for about a week, and then I'll strain it off and hopefully have some delicious elder honey that we get to enjoy here. I'm also gonna plan another batch where it's strictly just dried elderberry flowers. I might go back out and harvest a few just to dry them so that I have them for another batch of honey and or for tea. Elderberry flower tea is definitely good for you, especially come cold and flu season. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old.